She said, "I've been secretly filming us in the bedroom for memories. Don't worry, it's private." Then I found her subscriber-only account. I replied, "Interesting hobby." Then I contacted a lawyer, reported the platform, and filed criminal charges. When the FBI's cybercrimes unit contacted her about federal charges, I, 31 male, found out by complete accident. My girlfriend Natalie, 29, and I had been together for 2 years, living together for 8 months. Things were good, or so I thought. She worked in social media marketing, always had her phone out, always creating content. I figured that was just her job. Last Tuesday I was homesick. Natalie was at work. My laptop died mid-email, so I grabbed hers from the bedroom. She'd told me her password months ago for emergencies. No big deal. Opened Chrome, her email was logged in. A notification popped up in the corner. Payment processed, $847.32. From something called FanVault Premium. I didn't recognize it, thought maybe it was a work thing, some platform she managed for clients. Clicked the notification out of curiosity. It opened to a creator dashboard. My stomach dropped. The header image was our bedroom, our actual bedroom, recognizable wallpaper and everything. Profile name, Naughty Nat Private. Subscriber count 183. I sat there for maybe a full minute, not moving. Then I clicked into the content library. Videos. Dozens of videos, all time-stamped over the past 6 months. All of us. In our bedroom. Intimate moments I thought were private. Some were shot from her nightstand. I could see the angle. Others from what looked like her dresser. She'd been using her phone to record us, then uploading it. The descriptions made me want to throw up. Watch me with my boyfriend who has no idea he's being filmed. And secret recording, he thinks we're alone. I closed the laptop. Walked to the bathroom, threw up, then I sat on the couch and tried to think. She'd been filming me without consent, posting it online, making money from it. That's a crime. That's a serious crime. When Natalie got home at 6 p.m., I was still on the couch, laptop closed on the coffee table. "Hey babe, feeling better?" "Natalie, we need to talk." She set down her bag. "What's wrong?" I opened the laptop, turned it to face her. "Want to explain this?" Her face went white, then red. Then back to white. You went through my computer? You've been filming us, without telling me, and posting it online. It's not what it looks like." "It's exactly what it looks like. There are 183 people paying to watch videos you recorded of me without my permission." She started crying. "I was going to tell you. I needed the money, okay? My student loans are killing me, and this was easy money, and I didn't think you'd find out." "You didn't think I'd find out that you committed a crime?" "It's not a crime. It's just content creation." I actually laughed. No humor in it. "It's absolutely a crime. It's called non-consensual pornography, and since you're making money from it, it's probably a bunch of other crimes too. You're overreacting. Lots of couples do this. Couples who both consent. You never asked me. Because I knew you'd say no." The logic was staggering. "Get out." "What? Get out of my apartment? Well, right now. Take your stuff and leave." "You can't kick me out. I live here. Lease is in my name. You're not on it. Get out." She grabbed some clothes, still crying, saying I was being cruel and unreasonable, said we could work through this, that I was throwing away 2 years over nothing. I just stood there until she left. Then I called a lawyer. Update 1 week later, the lawyer's name was Mr. Hoffman. Mid-50s, specialized in digital privacy cases. I showed him everything. "This is serious," he said. "Federal serious. She's violated multiple laws." He listed them. State revenge porn laws, wire fraud, she transmitted the content across state lines via internet, copyright infringement, I own rights to my own image, potential tax evasion if she didn't report the income he earned. "We need to report this immediately. To the platform, to law enforcement, and potentially to federal authorities." First step, he sent a legal notice to FanVault demanding immediate removal of all content featuring me and disclosure of how much money she'd made. FanVault responded in 48 hours. They took down the content and provided financial records. $31,847.62 over 6 months. She'd made $31,000 filming me without consent. Second step, filed a police report. The detective, Officer Williams, was professional, but I could tell he was uncomfortable. "This happens more than you'd think," he said. "Usually we see it after breakups, revenge scenarios. During the relationship is less common, but just as illegal." He took my statement, took the evidence, said he'd pass it to the DA. Third step, Mr. Hoffman contacted the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3. Because the content was distributed online across state lines and involved financial gain, it qualified for federal investigation. While all this was happening, Natalie started her campaign. First, she sent mutual friends messages. He kicked me out over a misunderstanding. I made some content for extra money and he's acting like I committed murder. So controlling. Some friends believed her, started sending me messages about being unreasonable. I replied to exactly one. She filmed me in intimate situations without my knowledge or consent and sold that content online to 183 subscribers. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a crime. My lawyer has advised me not to discuss this further. That friend apologized, told others. The narrative shifted. Second, her mom called me. Brandon, Natalie is devastated. She made a mistake, but you're ruining her life over this. Can't you just forgive her? Mrs. Hoffman, wait, I can't use that name, her lawyer is Hoffman. Mrs. Torres, she committed multiple crimes against me. I didn't ruin her life, she ruined it herself. She said it was just a few videos. $31,000 worth, and that's after the platform took their cut. Silence. She made that much? Yes, by violating my privacy and breaking several federal laws. But she's my daughter? You're gonna send her to jail? I'm not sending her anywhere. The legal system will decide what happens based on what she did. She hung up on me. Third, Natalie herself tried to contact me. Email, since I'd blocked her number. Brandon, please. I'm so sorry. I know I messed up, but we can fix this. I'll give you all the money. I'll delete everything. Just please drop the charges. I can't go to jail, please. I forwarded it to Mr. Hoffman without responding. Don't respond to anything, he advised. Let the legal process handle it. 2 days ago, I got a call from an FBI agent, Special Agent Rodriguez. Mr. Williams, I'm calling regarding your complaint filed with IC3. We've reviewed the evidence and we're opening a federal investigation. I'll need you to come in for a formal interview. The FBI, the actual FBI, was investigating my ex-girlfriend. The interview was yesterday. 2 agents, Rodriguez and someone named Agent Park. They asked detailed questions, timeline, what I knew, when I found out, what Natalie said. Did she ever mention doing this with previous partners? Agent Rodriguez asked. No. But I don't know. We'll be looking into that. If there's a pattern, that affects the charges. They showed me more evidence they'd pulled. Natalie had been active on 3 different platforms, not just FanVault. Total earnings closer to $50,000. Jesus, I said. She's created a business out of this. Agent Park said. That's going to be a problem for her legally. Update 2, 3 weeks later. The DA filed state charges last week. 4 counts. 1, unlawful surveillance. 2, distribution of private intimate images without consent. 3, wire fraud. 4, invasion of privacy. Natalie's bail was set at $15,000. She made it somehow. Then the federal charges dropped. The FBI's investigation found she'd been doing this for over 2 years. With 2 previous boyfriends before me. They found her. Both filed complaints after being contacted by investigators. One guy, Austin, called me through Mr. Hoffman. Dude, I had no idea she did this to anyone else. I thought it was just me. I was too embarrassed to report it at the time. The other guy didn't want contact, but his statement was part of the case file. Federal charges against Natalie. 1, production of unauthorized intimate visual content. 2, distribution across state lines, wire fraud. 3, aggravated identity theft. She used our images for commercial gain without consent. Each charge carries 2 to 5 years. They stack. She's looking at potentially 15 to 20 years if convicted on everything. Her lawyer tried to negotiate, offered to plead guilty to state charges if federal charges were dropped. FBI said no. Then the entitlement really ramped up. Natalie's mom started a social media campaign, posted about how the justice system was failing young women trying to make a living, and how I was weaponizing the law to hurt someone I claimed to love. Left out the whole filming without consent part. My mom found it and called me furious. Who is this woman, and why is she lying about you online? I explained the whole situation. My mom went nuclear. Posted her own response. This young woman committed multiple felonies against my son by filming him in intimate situations without his knowledge or permission, then sold that content online for profit. That's not trying to make a living. That's a sex crime. Delete this disgusting post. Mrs. Torres deleted everything within an hour. Natalie's friends tried a different approach. One girl, Bethany, showed up at my apartment. Brandon, you need to drop this. Do you know what prison will do to her? She's not a criminal. She committed crimes against me and at least 2 other people. That makes her a criminal. It was just videos. Videos she made without consent and sold for money. How is this hard to understand? She didn't mean any harm. Intent doesn't matter. She knew what she was doing was wrong. That's why she hid it, and why her description specifically mentioned I didn't know. Bethany tried the guilt angle. She's talking about suicide. If something happens to her, that's on you. I called 911 right there. My ex-girlfriend's friend just informed me she's suicidal. Can you do a wellness check? Bethany's face went pale. I didn't mean you can't just leave my apartment. If you contact me again, I'll file for a restraining order. She left. The preliminary hearing was last Tuesday. I had to testify, face Natalie for the first time since I kicked her out. She looked terrible, lost weight, dark circles, hair a mess. Part of me felt bad, a small part. Then I remembered she'd filmed me without consent over 80 times, sold those videos, made $50,000, and only stopped because she got caught. The prosecutor asked me questions. When did I find out? How did I feel? Did I ever consent? No, never. I didn't even know she was filming until I found the account by accident. Defense attorney tried to suggest I must have known because the camera angles were obvious. I trusted her. When you trust someone, you don't spend intimacy looking for hidden cameras. Judge wasn't buying the defense's arguments, bound her over for trial on all charges. As we left the courthouse, Mrs. Torres screamed at me from across the plaza. You're destroying my baby's life. She made a mistake. One mistake. Mr. Hoffman stepped between us. Mrs. Torres, if you continue harassing my client, we'll seek a restraining order and add witness intimidation to the charges against your daughter. She shut up real quick. But that night, I got an email from Natalie's lawyer. Settlement offer. She'd plead guilty to 2 state charges, serve probation, pay me $60,000, all her earnings plus damages, and register as a sex offender. In exchange, I'd write a letter to the federal prosecutor requesting leniency. I stared at it for a while, then called Mr. Hoffman. What do you think? Honestly, the federal case is strong. She's going to prison regardless, but this guarantees you financial compensation and a conviction on record. It's your call. I thought about it all night. Update 3. Final resolution. I turned down the settlement. Not out of vengeance, just principle. She committed federal crimes, multiple times, against multiple people. The pattern mattered. If I let her plead down, what message does that send? I told Mr. Hoffman that if you do this to enough people, it's fine as long as you apologize when caught. I understand. We'll proceed to trial then. The trial was 2 months later. Federal court. Austin testified too. So did the other guy, Derek, via video. The prosecution was thorough. They showed how Natalie had systematically filmed 3 different men over 2 years, how she'd created multiple accounts under different names, how she'd advertised specifically that the content was secret and non-consensual to attract subscribers who got off on that. That part made my skin crawl. The violation wasn't just about privacy. She'd marketed our non-consent as a feature. Her defense tried to argue she didn't understand the law, that she thought since she was in the videos too, she had the right to post them. The prosecutor demolished that. The defendant's own descriptions prove she knew what she was doing was wrong. She specifically told subscribers these men didn't know they were being filmed. That's consciousness of guilt. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was 3 weeks later. Federal charges, 8 years in federal prison. State charges, running concurrent Bren. She also has to pay $180,000 in restitution, split between me, Austin, and Derek. Register as a sex offender for life. Forfeit all equipment used, her phones, laptop, cameras. Have no internet access, unsupervised for 10 years post-release. The judge was harsh. Miss Torres, you committed a profound violation of trust against 3 men who cared about you. You didn't do this once in a moment of poor judgment. You built a business out of violating others' privacy. The victims here deserve to feel safe in intimate settings, and you destroyed that. Natalie sobbed through the whole thing. Her mom wailed in the gallery. I felt empty, not happy, not sad, just tired. Outside the courthouse, a reporter tried to interview me. How do you feel about the verdict? Relieved it's over. I hope this serves as a warning that this behavior has serious consequences. That made the local news. Got a few messages calling me a hero. Ignored those too. I'm not a hero. I'm just someone who refused to let a crime slide. The aftermath has been messy. Lost some friends who think I went too far by not accepting the plea deal. Whatever. People who think 8 years for systematically violating 3 people is too harsh aren't people I need around. My family was supportive. My dad said, "You did the right thing. Hard thing and the right thing are usually the same thing." Austin and I got coffee a few weeks after sentencing. Strange bonding over shared trauma. "Did you ever think she'd actually go to prison?" he asked. Honestly, no. I thought she'd plead out, get probation, maybe some community service. But when the feds got involved and found out about you and Derek, it became bigger than just me. Think she'll actually do the full 8? Probably out in 6 with good behavior. But the sex offender registry is forever. He nodded. Good. Derek sent me an email thanking me for pursuing charges. Said he'd been too afraid to report it when it happened to him because he thought no one would believe a man could be victimized this way. Seeing the prosecution take it seriously helped him process what happened. That made it feel worth it. The financial restitution is being paid from the seized accounts. $60,000 for me, same for Austin and Derek. Doesn't undo what happened, but it's something. I moved apartments last month. Too many memories in the old place. Every time I walked into that bedroom, I felt violated all over again. New place is smaller, but it's mine. No cameras I don't know about. Started therapy. The therapist says what I'm experiencing is normal. Trust issues, anxiety about intimacy, hypervigilance about my surroundings, all expected after this kind of violation. You may never feel completely comfortable being filmed again, even consensually, she said. That's okay. You're allowed to have boundaries. I deleted all social media except Reddit. Too easy for people to find me otherwise. My dating life is complicated now. Hard to trust, hard to be vulnerable. The few times I've tried talking to someone new, I end up sabotaging it because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Therapy is helping with that. Last week I got a letter from Natalie. Forwarded through the system, my address redacted. 3 pages of apologies. How she never meant to hurt me. How she's getting help in prison. How she hopes someday I can forgive her. I read it once, then shredded it. Maybe someday I'll forgive her. Not for her sake, but for mine. But that day isn't today. Today I'm just trying to move forward, to remember that most people aren't like her, that intimacy can be safe, that I deserve privacy and respect. The legal system worked. Slowly, painfully, but it worked. She's in prison. She'll carry the consequences of her actions for the rest of her life. Is that justice? I don't know, but it's accountability. And maybe that's enough. To anyone reading this who's experienced something similar, report it. I almost didn't because I was embarrassed, because I thought people wouldn't take a male victim seriously, because I thought it wasn't that bad. It is that bad. It's a crime. You deserve justice too. And to anyone thinking about doing what Natalie did, don't. The few $1,000s isn't worth spending years in federal prison and being on a registry forever. Get a real job. That's it. That's my story. Life goes on, slower and more cautiously, but it goes on. Stay safe out there. At our engagement party, she joked I'm marrying him for the money, obviously. Everyone laughed. I laughed too and replied, "Good thing we signed a prenup this morning, right?" The color drained from her face as her parents looked at her, stunned. I, 31 male, thought I was living in a romantic comedy. Turns out it was more like a heist movie where I almost played the mark. Saturday was supposed to be our engagement party. Cassidy, 28, and I had been together for 2 years, engaged for 3 months. I own a software development company that I built from nothing. Not gonna lie, I do pretty well. About $400,000 a year after taxes. Cassidy works as an influencer and part-time yoga instructor, makes maybe $30,000 on a good year. The engagement party was at her parents' country club. Fancy stuff. About 150 guests. Her dad, Reggie, is old money. Her mom, Diane, acts like she's royalty. They've always been weird about my background. I grew up poor, put myself through state college, built my business working 80-hour weeks. But they loved that their daughter landed someone successful. During speeches, Cassidy had a few champagnes, maybe more than a few. Her cousin asked how she knew I was the one. Cassidy laughed, that tinkling laugh she does. Well, I looked at my bank account, then looked at his, and thought, I could get used to this. People chuckled uncomfortably. Her dad shifted in his seat. Her cousin pressed on. But seriously, you love him, right? Of course, I love everything about him. His house, his Tesla, his investment portfolio. More laughter, but nervous now. I'm kidding. But seriously, after dating all those broke artists and musicians, finding someone with actual money was like, finally, I'm marrying him for the money, obviously. She was drunk, but there was truth in wine. Everyone laughed because what else do you do? I laughed too. Raised my glass. Good thing we signed that prenup this morning, right, babe? Record scratch moment. Cassidy's face went from flushed pink to sheet white. What? The prenup? The one your dad's lawyer recommended. I looked at Reggie innocently. You did recommend we get a prenup, right, Reggie? Reggie looked confused. What prenup? Oh, the one I had drawn up. Cassidy signed it this morning. Standard stuff. What's mine before marriage stays mine, what's hers stays hers. You know. Cassidy stood up so fast she knocked over her champagne. We need to talk. Now. After the party, sweetheart. Now. She stormed off. I followed, but not before winking at my best friend Dale, who was recording everything on his phone. In the hallway, Cassidy lost it. What prenup? I didn't sign anything. Really? This morning? The papers you signed at breakfast? Those were wedding venue contracts. No, those were definitely prenup documents. You signed 3 copies, even had them notarized with Janet from my office. You tricked me? You just announced to everyone you're marrying me for money. It was a joke. Was it though? She started ugly crying, mascara everywhere. I can't believe you'd do this. I can't believe you'd announce to 150 people that you're a gold digger. I'm not a gold digger. Then the prenup shouldn't matter. She slapped me. Hard. We're done. The wedding's off. Okay? She blinked. Okay? That's it? Yeah. You want out because of a prenup? That tells me everything. She screamed and stormed back to the party. I heard her telling everyone I'd deceived her and trapped her. Her parents looked mortified, not angry at me, mortified at her reaction. Here's the kicker. There was no prenup. Those papers she signed, literally venue contracts. But her reaction told me everything I needed to know. Update 1. It's been 3 days since the party. My phone won't stop. Here's the current situation. Cassidy moved back to her parents' house immediately, took everything she could fit in her Range Rover that I bought her BW. Left a lovely note calling me a manipulative psychopath. Her mom, Diane, called Sunday morning. Not to apologize for her daughter's gold digger announcement. No, to demand I fix this. You humiliated our family. Your daughter announced she was marrying me for money. She was joking. You're the one who lied about legal documents. I never said she signed a prenup. I asked if it was good we signed one. She assumed and panicked. You tricked her into revealing her true character? Yeah, I guess I did. She hung up. Reggie called an hour later. Different energy entirely. Son, I need to know, is there actually a prenup? No, long pause. But she thinks there is, apparently. And she broke up with you because of it? Within 60 seconds of thinking she'd signed one. He sighed. I'm sorry, I suspected. The way she talked about your money, but I hoped I was wrong. Yeah, well? For what it's worth, I think you dodged a bullet. Thanks, Reggie. But Cassidy wasn't done. Oh no. She went full nuclear on social media. Posted this long rant about narcissistic abuse and financial manipulation and how I preyed on her trust. Conveniently left out the part where she announced she was marrying me for money. Her friends piled on. My DMs were full of, "You're disgusting. How dare you manipulate her? She loved you, and you played games." Then Dale posted the video. The whole thing. Her money comments. Her marrying him for the money, obviously. Everyone's uncomfortable laughter. My prenup comment. Her meltdown. The narrative flipped instantly. Comments went from attacking me to, did she really just admit to being a gold digger? The way she panicked about a prenup says everything. He's smart for testing her. Cassidy tried damage control. posted that the video was edited and taken out of context. Dale posted the full, unedited version. An hour and 43 minutes, including her whole drunken speech about how exhausting it was dating men without money. But the best part? My business lawyer reached out. Hey, just saw the viral video. Quick question. That Range Rover you bought her? Is it in your name or hers? Mine. Insurance too. Want it back? Can I do that? You're not married. No prenup needed for gifts you haven't legally transferred. It's still your property if the title's in your name. Interesting. Update 2. Yesterday I had the Range Rover repossessed. Legal? Absolutely. It was in my name. I paid for it. Insurance was under my policy. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. Cassidy called me from her friend Piper's phone. I'd blocked her number. You stole my car. My car. Check the title. I'll sue you. For what? Taking back my own property? It was a gift. Prove it. Show me where I transferred ownership. You're a monster. I'm a monster who still owns a Range Rover. She hung up. 20 minutes later, Diane called. Return the car immediately. No. We'll call the police. Please do. I have all the paperwork showing it's mine. You gave it to her. I let her use it. Big difference. What do you want? Money? An apology? I want nothing. I'm done. She made a mistake. She revealed who she really is. And so did you, by focusing on the car and not your daughter announcing she's a gold digger. But then things got interesting. Cassidy's friend Piper reached out privately. Hey, you probably don't want to hear from any of us, but you should know something. Cassidy's been bragging for months about how she was going to secure the bag with you. She had a whole plan. Marry you, quit working, have a kid quickly to lock it down. She literally has a Pinterest board called Trophy Wife Life with pictures of your house. I asked Piper to send screenshots. She did. Holy hell. The Pinterest board was extensive. Pictures of my house with captions like future home base, screenshots of my company's valuation, links to articles about how to get pregnant fast after marriage, posts about maintaining attraction until the ring is secured. But the most damaging? A group chat with her friends where she detailed her 5-year plan. Year 1, marriage, get pregnant. Year 2, quit working, focus on baby. Year 3, second baby for security. Year 4, start spending more, normalize high expenses. Year 5, if divorce, get maximum support with 2 kids. One message stood out. The prenup thing is my only worry. Have to make sure we don't sign anything before the wedding. We'll pretend I'm too emotional stressed to deal with legal stuff. I forwarded everything to Reggie with one message. Thought you should see this. His response, Jesus Christ. Update 3. Reggie called me this morning. Different man entirely. Cold. Businesslike. I've seen everything. The Pinterest board, the group chat, the plan. Yeah, I'm cutting her off. That seems harsh. No, you don't understand. I built my wealth to give my children opportunities, not to enable this. She's 28 years old, living off my money, planning to con a good man. You saved me from funding a worse version of her. Reggie. I've already called my lawyer. She has 30 days to find a job in her own place. The credit cards are canceled. The allowance is done. What about Diane? Diane agrees. We're both disgusted. An hour later, Cassidy called from another unknown number, hysterical. What did you tell my dad? The truth. He cut me off. The cards don't work. Sounds like a personal problem. This is your fault. No, this is your fault. You made the plan. You wrote it down. You shared it with friends. Those were private conversations that Piper shared with me. Maybe choose better friends. I'm going to be homeless. You're 28 with a college degree. Get a job. I hate you. Good, makes this easier. But she wasn't done. That afternoon, she showed up at my office. Security called me down. She looked rough. Mascara-stained face, hair a mess, wearing sweats. The influencer facade was gone. Please, she begged. I'm sorry, I didn't mean any of it. I love you. No, you don't. I do. The money stuff was just jokes. Stupid jokes. The 5-year plan was a joke. The Pinterest board was a joke. Her face fell. How did you, Piper, your best friend, sent me everything? She went from sad to rage in seconds. That bitch. See, this is the real you. The mask keeps slipping. I'll change. Into what? A different person? Because that's what it would take. You're throwing away 2 years. I'm avoiding a lifetime of manipulation. Security stepped forward. Ma'am, you need to leave. I'm not leaving without my ring. Oh right, the engagement ring, a $45,000 cushion-cut diamond. The ring you're wearing? It's mine. Actually, legally, it's a conditional gift. The condition was marriage. No marriage, no ring. You can keep it until the wedding date passes, then I'll expect it back. You can't do this. Watch me. Security escorted her out. She keyed my Tesla in the parking lot. Cameras caught everything. Filed a police report and insurance claim. Update 4. It's been 2 weeks since the engagement party. The wedding was supposed to be in 3 months. Deposits are lost, but honestly, small price for freedom. Cassidy's world has completely imploded. According to mutual friends, her parents gave her 30 days to get out. She's now 14 days in, no job, no prospects. She tried to move in with Piper. Piper blocked her after Cassidy found out about the screenshots. Her other friends are busy. Whenever she needs a place to crash, she's been applying for jobs but has zero actual work experience beyond influencer. Her Instagram engagement tanked after the video went viral. Lost brand deals. She's sleeping on her cousin's couch, but here's where it gets really good. Remember the Range Rover? Well, turns out she'd been telling everyone it was a push present for agreeing to have kids after marriage. Posted about it constantly. My future baby daddy treating me right, blessed, Range Rover mommy. So when I repossessed it, people started asking questions. Where's the car? Why is she taking Ubers? The truth came out, she never owned it. I let her use my car. The image crumbled. Then Diane reached out, not to apologize, but with intel. You should know Cassidy is planning something. What now? She's been talking to a lawyer about suing you for breach of promise. Claims you verbally promised to marry her and she suffered damages when you withdrew. That's not how that works. I know, but she's desperate. Also, she's been contacting your ex-girlfriends. What? Looking for dirt. Trying to find anyone who'll say you were abusive or manipulative. She wants to destroy you. Why are you telling me this? Because you're a good man who almost became my son-in-law. And because my daughter has become someone I don't recognize, or maybe I'm finally seeing who she always was. The ex-girlfriend thing was real. My ex Riley texted me. Hey, just FYI, your ex-fiancé messaged me asking if you were ever abusive. I told her you were the best boyfriend I ever had, and she was an idiot for losing you. She blocked me, lol. My other ex, Zoe, sent similar. Cassidy contacted me fishing for dirt. I told her to get therapy. Should I be concerned? Then came the lawyer letter. Some ambulance chaser demanding $200,000 for emotional damages, loss of lifestyle, breach of verbal contract, defamation. My lawyer laughed. Actually laughed. Sent back. She admitted on video to marrying for money. No verbal contract exists. Truth is an absolute defense against defamation. Counter notice for the keyed Tesla, $8,000 in damages. Haven't heard back. Final update. Been half a year since the engagement party disaster. Figured I'd give one last update since people keep asking. The wedding date came and went. I spent what would have been my wedding day in Cabo with Dale and some buddies. Got drunk on the beach, watched the sunset, thanked the universe for the narrow escape. The engagement ring? She tried to keep it. Claimed it was a gift. I had my lawyer send a formal demand. She ignored it. I filed a civil suit. The judge took one look at the evidence, including her own admission she was marrying for money, and ordered her to return it immediately. She had to pay my legal fees too. Sold the ring for $38,000. Donated half to a financial literacy program for young women. Felt poetic. Where's Cassidy now? Last I heard, working at a department store selling makeup, living with 3 roommates in a sketchy apartment, dating some crypto bro who talks big but drives a 2008 Honda. Posts inspirational quotes about surviving narcissistic abuse, lost 90% of her Instagram followers. Her parents still have her on timeout. Reggie reached out last month, invited me for golf. Weird, but I went. I owe you an apology, he said on the 9th hole. We enabled her, gave her everything, never made her work for anything, created a monster. It's not entirely your fault. It is though. We knew she was materialistic, shallow. We just hoped marriage would mature her. That's not how it works. I know that now. By the way, I'm starting a foundation for financial literacy. Want to ensure other kids don't turn out like her. Would you consider being on the board? I said yes. It's actually been rewarding. We've helped dozens of young adults learn actual money management. The irony? Cassidy applied for a grant from the foundation. She didn't know I was on the board. Her application talked about overcoming financial abuse and rebuilding after betrayal. We denied it. Not because of me, because she literally admitted in the application that she'd never had a job before age 28 and blamed others for her situation. As for me, started dating someone new. Heather's a pediatric surgeon, makes twice what I do. When I told her about the prenup test, she laughed and said, I would have signed a real one. I protect my assets too. We've been together 4 months. She insists on splitting everything 50-50. It's refreshing as hell. Oh, and the best epilogue? Cassidy's crypto bro boyfriend? He convinced her to invest her makeup counter savings into his revolutionary coin. It crashed. She lost everything. Posted a tearful video about being scammed by another narcissist. Piper commented, maybe date for character instead of wallets? Cassidy deleted the video. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people face the consequences of who they are. Cassidy wanted to marry money instead of a person. Now she has neither. And honestly, we're both exactly where we deserve to be. P.S. To everyone asking how I knew to test her with the fake prenup, I didn't plan it. When she made that money comment, it just came out. Call it divine inspiration or my subconscious protecting me. Either way, that split-second decision saved me from a lifetime of manipulation. P.P.S. Reggie sent me a birthday card last week. Inside it said, thanks for not becoming my son-in-law. We both knew what he meant. The Tesla repair? Insurance covered it, but they went after Cassidy for the deductible. She had to set up a payment plan. $50 a month for the next 3 years. Every payment is a reminder of what greed costs.